Hello, hello, good morning, good morning. So, today is Monday, and no better day than to talk about goal setting. And this is day 6 of 25 days of my best summer fitness tips to help get you healthier, leaner, meaner, and in the best shape that you can. Because once quarantine ends, which we're kind of coming out of now, that Florida sun is going to be waiting to burn up some white, scorching hot fat. And we want to make sure that we are ready for it. And not only physically, because that's just materialistic, guys, we want to feel better. So, the whole idea, let's do a quick recap. Day 1, we talked about more water. The whole idea is drinking 8 ounces on the hour every hour. Day 2, we talked about moving more. If you're working an hour at your desk, try and set some sort of timer. So every 50 minutes you get up, you walk around, you pee, you fill up your water, you do a little bit of arm circles, jumping jacks, squats, something like that, and you move on. Day 3, we talked about the whole idea is like you want to target your stubborn zones. Like the areas that you don't like now in the mirror are still going to be there when you get in your best shape. So unless you start sculpting them and kind of crafting what you want it to look like in the end, it's going to look the same. So if you have an inner thigh, if you have a tricep, you have an area that you just don't like, you need to start pumping out 100 reps every day. Now, that doesn't mean the same exercise, but something different and specific each day. Day 4, we talked about fuel up with protein. And, a lot of times people want to think about what you take away when you start a diet, but we're talking about what you want to add in. The more protein you eat, the more water you drink, you're obviously going to be less hungry to have all that other bad food. So that's your beginning and that's your foundation. Yesterday, we talked about your support team and your accountability team. We talked about personality types. We talked about how if you're like a lion, you're aggressive, you're self-motivated, but you also need to have your confidence stroked every once in a while. If you're a chameleon, you like being around groups and you like being around people and you like being around like a team environment. If you're an owl, you like details and facts and figures. And then if you're a lamb, you are a person that likes to see others win, and that's what helps keep you accountable. But the whole idea with that yesterday is like you need to find your accountability team because each person serves a role in a community, whether that's a family, a team, a gym, or anything like that. So today we're going to talk about your expectations versus reality because it's kind of a perfect day for like Mondays and goal setting. And I wanted to go ahead and forecast just a little bit because some people have asked about carbs and carb rotations and some other things. So we're going to talk carbs tomorrow and Tuesday. And then Wednesday is one of my favorite topics. We're going to talk about cheat meals and acceleration days. Now, before anybody says, I know this is flipped, I wrote backwards for you guys yesterday. This is way too much to write backwards today, so just kind of like cross your eyes and see if it works. All right, so the whole idea today with expectations versus reality. So we all see like, again, Instagram, Facebook, we see all these different things, and like we try to compare ourselves to something else, and really all you're trying to do is make yourself your best version of you. So like, for instance, what's a great example? Jenny Sarantini, there you go. She's on BCMF there, and like she's got ripped abs. I think she pushed out a kid and had a six-pack the next day. Like I've had a six-pack like 5 days my entire life. Let's call it different. Let's say 17 days. All 17 times I've competed, I've had abs, but like it's not something that's in my genetic structure. So when you're looking at like expectations versus reality, like first thing you have to do is like you have to manage your expectations of like who are you? Like what are your strong suits? What are your weaknesses? Like you're not just going to become a different person just by starting a workout program. The other side of it is like, yes, everybody can kick some ass and work out 200, 300 plus minutes a week, whatever, for a couple weeks. But if your schedule and routine does not fit that into the day-to-day lifestyle, no matter what you gain, no matter what you improve upon, you're going to lose it if you can't maintain that level of effort. So that's kind of the two things I want to talk to you about today is like, today doesn't have to be a big, like, long lesson. Today is a very, very simple lesson, but here's the whole idea. And again, I know this is backwards, but let's say this is week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And let's say this is 50 minutes of exercise, 100, 150 minutes of exercise, 200, 250 minutes of exercise, and 300. So to me, like my goals, I try to maintain at least like 150, 180 minutes of exercise a week. Normally that's like 3 45-minute workouts with Travis, and then I normally do something on the side yard in like our little outdoor gym here for 20, 25 minutes another time. That to me is what gets me in a good shape. I feel healthy. I can do just about any type of workout I want to do. Now, does it get me lean? No, not at all. And so that's the whole idea. So it's like your expectations and reality need to kind of balance each other out. But here's the whole thing. Like if I was trying to get lean and ripped, like I would be on the higher end of the spectrum. But then also when it comes to stuff like Mother's Day last night, I would have maybe had 1 cookie or no cookies. I didn't. I had probably 10. Like my goals right now are not to have ripped abs, but I want to be lean and I want to look good. So I ate good the entire week, but like, yes, I had cookies yesterday. But the problem is so many people, they want the ripped body and they want to eat the cookies, and that just doesn't go. So the whole idea is like the more extreme of the goal you want, the more sacrifices you have to make, or you have to be willing to endure for a longer period of time. And to me, I would rather have everybody just endure for a longer period of time than press the accelerator and trying to burn out the gas. So the whole idea is like this. Let's say where you are now is like 50 minutes of exercise a week, 100 minutes of exercise a week. Some people aren't even moving at all until we started this 25-day program. So you need to go from one level to level 2 to level 3 to level 4. And the problem is most people want to go straight from 50 minutes a day up to 300 minutes a day, and they crush themselves with cardio, they over diet themselves, and they do all these different things that puts, at least, like, the cool part is, like, they see a little bit of results and it gives them a little bit of satisfaction, but really it doesn't, because they get to the end of the week, they have a bad meal or they have a couple cookies like I did last night, they step on the scale Monday morning and they didn't lose 10 pounds somehow. Well, the more you cheat, the less you're going to see. The more you stay on track, the more you're going to see. So the whole idea is, like, it's all about a consistent effort. So realistically, this is how it should look. If, like, we're doing a 10-week program here, and really I kind of based it for like a 6-week program. So if we're starting here and we're somewhere around like the 50-minute of exercise, like this week or by the end of this week, we need to try and take that to like 150 minutes, where I was saying is like my maintenance part. So week 1, 150 minutes. Then we need to bump it up to like 200 minutes next week, then 250, then going all the way up till we get to that 300-minute point. And so this is a 6-week cycle that we're going through. So you might be adding something along the lines of like 10 minutes, 15 minutes per week or per day or whatever it is, but like you're not going to add 300 minutes in a day. So the whole idea is, like, you need to figure out what your current routine is, what your current schedule is, and then, like, where can you build in windows or pockets to fit in more activity? Because it doesn't have to be all in one stretch. And I think that's where we get confused or mistaken or overwhelmed, is like we think of a workout routine and we're like, oh, I don't have an hour to dedicate to the gym, or I don't have an hour and a half to dedicate to the gym. Well, what if you walked 20 minutes before you went to work? What if you did some sort of, crunches, abs, some sort of cardio-based something when you got home? And what if you walked after dinner every night? That alone would be an hour of activity a day, and you'd only have to really do, like, 5 days of that, and you'd be set. But instead, everybody wants to try and crush themselves, and they want to try and do an over-extreme amount of cardio, or an hour straight on a bike, or an hour on a Peloton, or whatever the thing is. And, like, really it just comes down to consistency. Drink more water, make sure you're moving more, make sure you're targeting your stubborn body part, make sure you fuel up on protein, support yourself so you have accountability, and then we start to get into those managing expectations. So it's Monday. Figure out what you really want. Like, do you want abs? If you want abs, you're going to have to suffer a little bit for the next couple weeks. If you want to just be in better shape, like, you're going to have to make sacrifices, but you're not going to suffer as much. And if you're somebody who just wants to improve your conditioning just a little bit, well, guess what? That's even easier. You just need to make little sacrifices. But a lot of times I see the people are like, yeah, I don't really care about abs. Yeah, I really don't care about this. They're the ones making the most extreme sacrifices that they cannot maintain and sustain. So the whole idea is, like, you need to manage your expectations of where you are. So, like, today, the key thing I want you to do is, like, write down your goals. Like, write down, like, what would make you confident, comfortable, healthy, what would make you look good in clothes. Like, again, I told you last week, put on that bathing suit, like, do a little twirl, see what it looks like, get naked in front of the mirror, do a little twirl, see what it looks like how long is it going to take for those areas to get back to where you feel comfortable with them, and then we need to work backwards. Okay, so the whole idea is you need to meet fitness where you are. You can't just jump to 300 minutes or 400 minutes or 500 minutes a week. Like, that's insane, because, like, again, your body's going to burn out. Like, there's only so much fuel in the tank, and until we get our eating right all the way, like, which we're going to keep working on for the rest of this week, like, you have to be able to eat to support the fire. You have to fuel the fire. And if you're not doing that and you're just burning it out from one end but never reloading the fuel, like, we can't do more exercise, guys. So right now we need to start today. What's the goals? What do we want to look like? What's the end project look like? And then where are we at now on this scale, and where do we got to ramp up to over the next 4 to 6 weeks? Figure that part out. Send me messages, guys. I'm happy to help with all this. I think that's been the coolest feedback of all of these, like, tips, is, like, just the response back each day of, like, hey, this is my spirit animal, or hey, this is how I'm going to eat more protein, or dude, I love the water, and not only did the water get me, like, drinking more, but I'm actually getting up to go to the bathroom more often, so I'm doing squats every time I get up. Like, these things all tie in together. And while somebody was looking for some deprivation, starvation diet and over extreme workout, like, you're never going to get that from me. Like, that's not our style. That's why our clients are working moms, working dads, like, actual people that have lives and they don't live in a gym. So, 30 minutes a day, maybe 45-minute time should be your activity level, but figure out how you need to work that in, and then how many days a week that needs to happen, because, like, again, it's the total sum of consistency. It's the sum of all parts, like what we said the other day. So don't get too overwhelmed, guys. This is a very simple thing, but just figure out right now, take a sheet of paper, how many minutes did I work out last week? Okay, it was this much. Do I like the way my body looks right now? Okay, no. I got to do a little bit more, so let me ramp it up by 30 minutes this week. Where do I find 30 minutes? And you just keep doing that. Week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, and then by week 6, you're at that 300-minute point. So I hope that wasn't too much ramble. I hope we tied it all together. I hope we put a little bow on it to make it make sense for you guys. But you need to customize this to you, because if somebody's not looking to have extreme abs, extreme whatever, you don't need to be at this 300-minute point. You can be somewhere around here. And that's what I wrote. This is my maintenance. Somewhere around here is like that 150 minutes. So guys, don't get overwhelmed. You just got to put in the work, but do the work that matches what you're looking for at the end. Expectations versus reality. Figure yours out today. See you guys.